What if I told you Arsenal's biggest advantage during AFCON isn't even about their own squad? The real story lies in how their opponents crumble without key players. But is it enough to give the Gunners the edge they need? Let's dive into the tactical chaos of the festive fixtures and uncover why Viktor Gyökeres and Eberechi might be holding Arsenal back more than we realise. Here we'll discuss Arsenal's schedule during the Africa Cup of Nations, AFCON period, weighing the pros and cons, along with updates on Eberechi and Viktor Gyökeres. Our focus today revolves around not taking shots and Gyökeres not delivering. This isn't meant to be overly critical, but rather an exploration of their current roles in the Arsenal squad and the challenges they face. During AFCON, will Arsenal's opponents suffer a loss in strength, thus benefiting Arsenal? The first significant advantage for Arsenal is that they are virtually unaffected by AFCON, as everyone knows. Looking at their opponents, the schedule spans the Christmas and New Year period, extending into early January. Arsenal will face Everton, Crystal Palace, Brighton and Hove Albion, Aston Villa and Bournemouth. Starting with Everton, they have Iliman Ndiaye, who will be representing his country. If you've watched Everton's matches this season, you'll know that Ndiaye is crucial to their attack. Additionally, their midfielder Guai plays a vital role in linking defence and attack. Despite being in his late 30s, he still covers a lot of ground. Without these two, it is unlikely that Everton will suffer a significant drop in quality. Moreover, their English midfielder Dewsbury Hall, who was injured in the last match, is reportedly not returning until January, meaning Everton will be without at least 3 key players when they host Arsenal. Of course, Arsenal also have injury concerns, but these issues have persisted throughout the season. Next is the crucial League Cup match against Crystal Palace. The League Cup provides more playing opportunities for squad players who don't usually get minutes. You're out if you lose, so you must keep fighting. Their key attacking player, Ismaila Sarr, will also be competing in the Continental Cup and won't be available for Crystal Palace during this period. This absence will impact not just Arsenal's League Cup match, but also their Premier League fixtures. Sarr has been maturing, and Senegal wouldn't let him go easily. After Boxing Day, Arsenal face Brighton. Brighton has a midfielder, Carlos Baleba, who hasn't been particularly impressive this season, sometimes even appearing clueless on the pitch and often not completing full matches. Is he avoiding injury ahead of AFCON, or is there another reason? Even without him, it is not likely that Brighton will be significantly weakened. Next up is Aston Villa. Villa does have African players, including Ivory Coast attacker Evan Gesand. But Gesand isn't a regular starter for Villa and hasn't been called up by his national team. Although Arsenal face Villa at home, they shouldn't be overconfident, as Villa have shown this season that they can come from behind in several Premier League matches. Moving into early January, Arsenal face Bournemouth on January 4th. When Bournemouth is mentioned, the first player that comes to mind is Antoine Semenyo. Even if he hasn't been sold, he would likely return for AFCON, but Ghana didn't qualify for the AFCON finals, so Semenyo will stay at Bournemouth. Unless he's sold on January 1st, Bournemouth remains unaffected by AFCON. On January 8th, Arsenal host Liverpool in a crucial match. Liverpool's form has improved recently. They will likely miss Mohamed Salah. If Salah returns to Liverpool, we need to look at AFCON's schedule. The round of 16 starts in early January, with the quarter-finals on January 10th and 11th. Assuming Egypt progresses through the group stage and round of 16, Salah probably won't make it back. Even if they're eliminated in the round of 16, he'll need rest upon returning. Liverpool should be accustomed to playing without Salah in the starting lineup. Overall, during the Christmas and New Year period, the teams Arsenal face that are weakened by AFCON are mainly Everton and Crystal Palace in the League Cup. The advantages Arsenal gain aren't substantial. Now let's discuss the 2 main topics of this episode. First, Viktor Gyökeres. There's been a lot of discussion about him. Is his style too rough? Are his movements not sharp enough? Or are his teammates failing to supply him properly? Any of these points could be valid. Early in the season, with all the centre-forwards injured, Arteta's tactics relied more on deeper play, utilising long passes to take advantage of Gyökeres' strengths. He needs space and speed to settle before taking a shot. Asking him to receive short passes and then run doesn't suit his style. There was a period early in the season when things worked better, especially in direct matches, but then he got injured. Since returning from injury, Arsenal's style has unfortunately shifted towards more possession-based play, pressing high into the opponent's penalty area, which limits Gyökeres' space to operate. Additionally, his form hasn't been stable post-injury. I can't help but wonder, after a month-long injury, shouldn't he have taken more time to understand his teammates' style, habits and movement patterns? We would certainly expected him to adapt like Gyökeres and Timber did. Despite missing a year, Timber seems to understand his teammates' dynamics better. However, Gyökeres hasn't given me that impression. My personal view is that Gyökeres is a strange type of forward. He needs long passes to run onto, as his ability to carry the ball forward isn't strong. In the Premier League's pace, the longer he dribbles, the slower he becomes, allowing defenders to catch up even if they're initially 2 steps behind. Second, in physical duels, his technique and the small delay in controlling the ball before shooting aren't advantageous in the league's fast-paced collisions. But it's not just about denying him space. He does require some space to settle before passing or shooting, where he performs better. Essentially, he has technical limitations, and unlocking his potential requires team-wide adjustments. Given Arsenal's current strength, will they reshape the team's play style for Gyökeres? Time will tell. Take the recent Premier League win against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Early in the match, Declan Rice cleared a long ball forward and Gyökeres made the run. But Gabriel Martinelli was quicker to the ball, winning it ahead of centre-back Emmanuel Agbadu and heading it to Gyökeres on the right. Unfortunately, the coordination was slightly off. Later, a right-wing cross from Ben White, after Bukayo Saka's dribble, found Ez and Gyökeres in the box, but White waited too long before crossing, allowing defenders to intercept. Another right-wing delivery saw Gyökeres fail to jump for the ball, letting it go behind him to Rice, who headed it just wide. Whether he didn't intend to jump or heard a call from behind to let the ball pass is debatable, but his aerial threat from crosses needs improvement. Martinelli had a chance to play a through ball to Gyökeres for a potential one-on-one, but chose to continue dribbling to avoid offside, eventually passing left to Rice, whose cross was blocked for a corner. Several low crosses across the face of goal required attackers to dive or shoot. Gyökeres repeatedly failed to capitalize. Whether it's a delay in his actions or poor judgment, it needs improvement. When receiving a long pass, he held off Agbadu but lost control, conceding a goal kick. His handling of the ball while running remains insufficient. In the 58th minute, with Arsenal yet to score, they made 3 substitutions. Leandro Trossard, Martin Odegaard and Mikel Merino replaced Martin Zubimendi, Eze and Martinelli. The substitutes appeared to integrate better. Shortly after entering, Odegaard attempted a lofted pass to Gyökeres in the box, but the high ball gave defenders time to react and it didn't connect. Saka sped up in the second half. Cutting into the box from the right, he passed to Gyökeres near the penalty spot, but Trossard couldn't reach the slightly overhit pass. Around the 60th minute, Gyökeres won a free kick after being fouled while turning in the box. Rice's shot was well struck but missed. Late in the match, he had a chance after combining with Trossard. Using his body to shield Yerson Mosquera, he turned and shot, grazing the post, his only moment of striker quality. Overall, fans hope he can score more against weaker opponents, but against Wolves, he didn't score and his effective touches were minimal. It's hard to assess his level conclusively. Early in the season, I faced criticism for questioning him in my content, not due to bias against his signing, but based on observation and analysis. If he were another team's player, how would you rate his performance since the season started? Now on to Eberechi's lack of shots. After scoring a hat-trick against Tottenham Hotspur, particularly with his positioning in the central penalty area, it seemed no one could challenge him. However, in subsequent matches against Chelsea, Brentford, Aston Villa and Wolves, He didn't attempt a single shot. In 2 UEFA Champions League matches, he didn't play against Club Brugge and had 1 assist against Bayern Munich. In 4 Premier League appearances, he played over 70 minutes against Chelsea, came off the bench for 29 minutes against Brentford, played full halves against Villa and Wolves. You could argue that not playing full 90 minutes affects his stats, but why was he substituted? It's worth pondering. To be blunt, I believe Eze can contribute more for Arsenal. It's not just about the Tottenham match, he hasn't been consistent enough otherwise. Against Villa, you could argue that playing on the left wing isn't his best position, but at Crystal Palace, with fewer players up front and more counter-attacking space, he thrived against thinner defensive lines. At Arsenal, with their high pressing, matches like the one against Wolves see him primarily watching Saka operate in the final third. Eze's other weakness is his inability to sustain dribbles. He's not the type to carry the ball forward over long distances. He excels in that first burst after receiving the ball, but the second touch often leads to dispossession. The expectation for Eze is to create space for a shot by beating his man at the edge of the box, a trait he demonstrated frequently towards the end of last season at Crystal Palace. So in this match, he repeatedly waited in or around the box for passes from Saka, which limited his ability to use the ball effectively. This match doesn't require much focus on Ødegaard. Instead, Saka's performance was more sluggish compared to earlier in the season. A double-edged sword, he creates many threats, but his prolonged dribbling sometimes leaves White trailing behind, or waiting for a pass that doesn't come. Eze, positioned deeper, often moved to the right to combine more with Saka and Timber. Overall, Eze's performance was limited. Is he being underutilized, or has he taken a back seat to support Saka? His central shooting opportunities have vanished, possibly due to opponents figuring him out, or simply a lack of chances in recent matches. 0 shots. Hard to believe. I checked the stats, and it's genuinely 0. It's not necessarily a poor performance, but the output is lacking, compounded by not playing full matches. Fans can debate further. Gyökeres and Eze's issues aren't the most severe, but if victories hinge on them, it's hard to say they've fully settled in. Let's see how they perform going forward. That's it for this episode. If you enjoyed this analysis, please leave a comment, like, and subscribe to the channel to show your support. Thank you for watching.